Hello and welcome to our episode for Easter of Bears Tea Tower with me, your host, Graham Joseph Norton, and my lovely co-host, Richard Jones. We're delighted that you're with us and we're welcoming our very first guest today. So we're really excited about that, the lovely Anthony Miller. Hi,
That's,
Richard, how are you?
I'm good, my love. I'm good. It's Easter. It's coming up for Easter,
I
so I'm
know.
expecting lots of lovely things, lots of hopefully chocolate. Um, so yeah, very very ordinary for us. We don't do anything kind of spiritual, unfortunately. This is about as spiritual as I'm going to get this Easter break, I think.
Oh, well, Mum was at Palm Sunday yesterday because that's always a big thing. She always gets a blessed palm, so she brings it to our house, so our house doesn't burn down. So that's apparently the superstition. So she gets truckloads of it and she gives it to all of us, and everybody gets to keep it in your house for the year, so the house doesn't catch on fire. So that's. But I mean, whatever
Yep.
works. So she was over there and getting the trees brought in, and actually years and years ago you used to get like whole branches. Now you kind of like barely get like a few little sprigs. It's economizing.
John's family went to church and brought back last week like a little reed shaped into a cross and things. So we've got that. I've forgotten we've got that. But again, John doesn't
Yeah,
do much. We have it. We put it where it's meant to be, and that kind
yeah.
of thing. We keep that tradition. But yeah, so
Yeah.
very
So
good.
well, we do that. And she fills up the holy water bottles and things like that. So well, we've a Saint Michael in the hall that I got, and but it's actually a holy water fountain. So we put the holy water in the door, and bless yourself on the way out. And even though technically I'm not a Catholic anymore, I still do all the sort of the nice ritual bits because as Oscar Wilde said, I couldn't live as a Catholic, but I do hope to die as one.
Fair enough. I like that. I like that.
I
You're
like the
keeping
romanticism.
wonderful, wonderful. What have you been up to, my love? What's been going on this week for you?
Well, I had the cult.
Of course.
We had our meeting. I did another live with that lovely medium Marta, which went great. And actually,
Lovely.
I've been asked to partake in a big conference for mediums. So I'm giving a couple of lectures about my book and my work. And I'm really interestingly going to give a talk about the work of the mystic Valentin Tomberg, because I'm referencing it in my book as part of counteraction for spiritual malaise. So we're going to do that. And then what else have I been doing? I have been just kind of getting ready for different things and clients, and just it's that kind of thing. I'm really looking forward to my holidays. But so remember a few weeks ago we were talking about manifestation.
Yes. Yes. Of
Well,
course.
so I created a vision board, and I started using ChatGPT to take photographs of me from when I was a diva, and take out the images of. I know everybody goes when, but anyway, so I put that in just so everybody can think about it. But anyway, when I was a singer. And I extracted myself, right, and put pictures of myself now. And I asked ChatGPT to put me into sort of really cool situations. All right, okay. So don't laugh. Well,
Come
I
on.
am
Share
only
with us.
human. So I decided I'd like to go to a pool party, surrounded by
Right.
hot guys. So I put it in and created the image and didn't think about it. And my friend Ashling, her niece Rebecca, is a travel agent. So I said to Rebecca, I said, I've got XYZ off for summer. I'd like to do a couple of trips. And so she went and she listened and she came back with the whole thing. So she says to me, first off, she says, oh yeah, well, I can do this, this, and this, and this. And I was like, Grant. And I was looking at them going, why am I choosing? So I decided I'd pick Sitges and I picked Torremolinos and Greece and whatever. So then, wait, you hear this. So Sitges, Grant, I literally finished clinic on one day and I'm literally out in the plane the next, and I'm back for a few days and then I'm going to Torremolinos. But I was on on Sunday, and off Sunday last, and Palm Sunday, I was just chatting to a friend of mine, and I said, "Yeah, I'm going there, so I'll have to pick your brains because I've never been to Torremolinos." He said, "You do realize it's Mad Bear?" I'm like, "Pardon?"
Of course.
And
Yeah.
so I manifested the pool party without even thinking about it. So how cool is that?
That's
So
great.
in Isn't that amazing? So I'm going to be there for the pool party, surrounded by hot guys. The universe provided,
Well,
and
indeed.
then this gets better.
Oh,
So I worked with a person last year, and I helped them with some information. They were going through a very bad time, and then I gave them some other help with spiritual work and healings and stuff. And they contacted me a few weeks ago. So everything I gave them helped them win a large court case, etc. And
Lovely.
they are going to take me to Greece and pay for it as a reward. So the universe has provided.
God, look at you. Look at you, chat GPT
I,
wizard that you are.
I tell you. So, so yeah. Now, you because I use some of them for that when I'm putting up pictures and stuff of different talks and good. Now, you have to be very careful with ChatGPT, like because some of it's a bit suspect, and you might come out with like 25 fingers or something. But still, it was a useful experiment. So again, going back to the subconscious, if the subconscious can see it, you can manifest it. So I thought that was great, and again, but also that law of I wasn't attached to how it happened. I just wanted to do it.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
it's great.
provided. So
Just if you're not familiar with chat GPT, lovely people out there, you could paint a picture or do a drawing or scrapbook photos from other places and create your image board without the use of chat GPT if you don't want to. But
yeah.
there are other things. And those who don't know what Mad Bear is, Mad Bear is a gathering of the bear community. Where did you say it was going to be? In Torremolinos?
The one I'm going to is in Torremolinos, but they're kind of usually around. So I think it originally started in Madrid, hence Mad.
Madrid, yeah, that's what the Mad part is.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's a
yeah.
big bear weekend. There'll be hundreds, if not thousands, of bears around all of those pools, and it all came about because Graham manifested it this week.
Wait, you hear this? The best part is, right? She got me a hotel right in front of the beach, the gay beach, in the middle of the gay town, the gay part of the town, where all the festival takes place,
You must have got
right
the
at the
last
height of it.
bedroom, the last
I,
hotel room or something.
no, I don't know. I've got like she got it like it's a really nice hotel, and she got it for me for a fairly little. So Rebecca Smith Travel, we're giving you a plug. So
Well done,
yes,
everybody involved. Is all I can say. Well, look,
yes,
we let's do our meditation.
yes.
And then we can bring in Anthony Miller, our lovely, 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 very special first guest on our show. All we're going to say about him, everybody, is that he is a lawyer and a broadcaster. I know him. Graham doesn't. So Graham doesn't know anything about Anthony. So we're not going to say too much now. You'll probably get filled in about his life a bit with the reading we're going to do live with him. Graham's going to do that in a little bit. And we'll obviously have a little chat afterwards as well. And we'll fill you in on anything that we haven't said through the reading. But Graham, my lovely, take us through today's lovely meditation.
Yeah, so today we're just going to do a short meditation. Oh, look, spirit's already coming through. Can you see the beard
Oh,
is beginning to stand
oh.
on edge? Oh, that's interesting. So we're going to just do a very short meditation just for cleansing. Just going to bring some white light down through us because I want to devote some time to Anthony because I don't know what's going to happen and I know nothing about him, so it's going to be fun. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask everybody to close their eyes. And we're just going to take a deep breath in. We're going to hold it at the top and we're going to breathe out. So we're breathing in through the nose. We're holding our breath at the top and we're breathing out. So we're breathing in, holding, and releasing. And 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 now I want you to imagine a beautiful ball of golden white light floating above the top of your head, just over your crown chakra. And I want you to fill this golden ball with wonderful positivity, all the things you want to manifest in your life: love, compassion, healing, peace, joy, and anything else that you feel that you need in your life. And I want you to imagine it slowly descending down to your crown chakra, into your forehead, coming down behind your eyes, down to your face, down into your neck, spreading a beautiful golden white light as it travels through your body, down to your shoulders, into your arms, your hands, down through your chest, your tummy, all the while removing any blockages to all the things that you want to manifest and giving you a wonderful sense of calm and healing. This moves from your tummy into your hips and groin, down into your legs, down past your knees, into your shins, and down into your feet. And as it reaches your feet, I want you to see the golden light begin to spread into the earth, creating roots, begin to travel deep into the center of the earth, traveling down through all of the rocks, all of the earth, down, 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 until they reach the most beautiful rose quartz crystal at the center of the earth, where they wrap themselves around it, anchoring you to the very heart of the earth. And as they do this, all that wonderful energy cleansing you begins to become transmuted in the heart of Mother Earth, where she sends love and light back up through the roots, all the way up, up, up through the rocks, through the earth, into your feet, grounding you to her and supporting you with love and nourishment. Energy then begins to pool around your feet and come back up around you in the most beautiful bubble of golden white light, keeping you safe from any negative energies as you are fully restored to health, healing, happiness, joy, and abundance. And we're just going to take a few more breaths to allow this energy to settle within us. As we breathe in, hold, and in, and hold, and in, and hold, and so in, and hold, and when you're ready, slowly come back to the room. Yeah.
Lovely. Lovely. That was nice. Thank you, Graham. I hope everybody enjoyed that. I think even Anthony was joining in the studio there, so I think let's just check that he's with us. He's with us. I think we're ready to bring him into the studio.
I think we are, yes.
Lovely. So, without further ado, my lovelies, let's meet Anthony Miller, broadcaster and lawyer.
Hello.
There he is.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Gentlemen. I'm really zen now. Sorry with that meditation, by the way. I'm gone. You're going to have to give me half an hour to come back into the room.
I have to be careful because if I do all the ones we do normally, I'm always frightened that I'm not going to come back properly, and I've got technicals to do. So I'm very careful. But yes, it's very does lead a good meditation. So welcome.
Someone asked me, actually, was that part of my seduction routine?
I'm thinking about working it into mine, to be fair. Cheaper than the red wine, you know what I mean?
Love it.
I tell you.
Well, Anthony, it's great to see you. Welcome as our very, very first guest on Bears Tea and Tarot. We're very excited to have you. Graham's already reading. So
I tell you, I love this. So the first card that's come out is the Star card. So that's a good omen for this. So yes.
Good. Bring it on.
Come back to
stars, please.
Well, look, are you ready, Graham? Because I'm going to let you.
Yeah, I'm ready now. Just so look, Spirit's already coming. This is interesting. So what I'm going to say to you is, just for our listeners at home and viewers, I genuinely know nothing about Anthony. We've never spoken before this afternoon. I don't know anything. And Richard didn't give me any information. They just said that they used to work together. So I don't know. So whatever's going to come up is going to come up. This is the very first experiment for the three of us. It's going to be quite fun. We'll see what happens.
Lovely.
Okay.
Well, Anthony, I'm going to leave you in the lovely hands of Graham, and I'm going to kind of step out and let you just have that moment. I know it's broadcast to the world, but I'm going to still give you that little kind of privacy. But yeah, enjoy, and I'll see you at the end. And we'll do it. We'll include you in the rest of the show to the end. So just stay with us after the reading, my love. Over to you, Graham.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm going to just switch my camera over so Anthony can see the cards. Can you see those, Anthony? Can you see my hands?
I can see your hands, yes. Yes, see the cards in your hands now, yes.
Okay. So, Anthony, what I want you to do is... what I'd like you to do, Anthony, is I want you to just close your mind, or close your eyes for a second and just set an intention for what you'd like to come up for us, okay? So, what I'm going to say, ooh, that's interesting. So, you are the Queen of Wands. I'm kind of liking that for you. Okay, interesting.
I've been called many different types of queen, but never a wand.
She's obviously our... Well, I'll explain to you what she is in a minute. So we're going to put her over here. So she's our guidance card. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to just close your eyes, and I'm going to ask you to think about what it is you want to come up. Okay. And we're going to start with 3 cards. We're going to do past, present, and future at the minute, just to help me interview. Okay. Just get a bit of a sense of who you are. So when you're ready, I want you to think, I want you to call out, and I want you to say top, middle, or I want you to say stop, and then I'll ask you top, middle, or bottom. Okay?
Okay.
Or should I say birth?
Depends what day of the week it is. Who's buying the wine?
Exactly.
So
let's start with...
say when?
Yeah, so tell me when to stop, yeah.
Okay. So let's go for stop now.
Okay. And do you want top, middle, or bottom?
I'm going to go for middle.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. How lovely is that? Okay. So we're going to go again. So we're thinking about where you are in your life at the moment. Okay. And again, I want you to do the same thing.
Stop. Top.
Interesting. The Magician reversed. Okay. And then we're going to do this again.
Stop. And bottom.
Lovely. The 4 of Pentacles. Okay. So Anthony, if we look at these cards, we're going to start off with this as our clarifying card. Okay. I don't know if you can see, you can't see my face, but my hair is standing up again. So the Queen of Wands is a very interesting card. Okay. So the Queen of Wands is about creation and fire. Now, she's a very powerful being because when she's upright, she's nurturing. But basically, she's been through a lot, and she uses her pain and her grief to help other people out of their own tragedies so that they can move forward in their lives. So she looks after those who are she cares for by using all the things that she's learned along the way. The wand represents her staff. Who does her staff? The wand represents the power of creation and the support that she gives people. And you can see this, the leaves are growing, that represents abundance, and the sunflower represents new life. Now, the green there is of course the heart chakra. Okay, even though it's in her crown, she uses her pain to help other people move forward in their lives, using the fire that she's been bestowed with, the fire that she's walked through that has cleansed her, to help others. Does that resonate with you?
It does.
Okay, very can you explain to me?
Yeah. Well, number one, I'm a lawyer. But I grew up in Northern Ireland. I've got ADHD. I was a Catholic living in a Protestant town. I'm a gay. I split up when I was young. So all of the ingredients are there. That would make that make sense. Yeah.
Okay. So this is our sort of introduction to who you are. Now, if we look at your past, this is quite interesting too, because we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is about taking action on your future. Sometimes it's a very slow moving process. So it's about having to go through a lot of changes and a lot of growth, because remember, everything comes from the soil. Okay.
Mm.
So again, we look at this, we have the growth represented by the green plumage on the helmet. Okay. And the thing is the sun set or is it rising? Sometimes it has to set on a lot of old things so that we can move forward, and then we can have the next day. So the Knight of Pentacles is about taking action on different things. Sometimes they don't necessarily work out. This is the energy because I'm seeing a lot of orange and yellow. So it's about finding your identity, finding who you are. And then it's about using that to shield yourself. Again, keeping it up with the Queen of Wands, because they are actually linked, even though a different suit, he does actually serve her. So what it's about is about finding your passion, finding your strength. And sometimes it's about overcoming a lot of obstacles to move forward. How does that resonate with you in the past position?
I can't tell you how specific that is for right now, particularly with career. So I have come into the profession as a sort of civil law, commercial law lawyer, and by a lot of events ended up practicing in family law.
Mm.
So I'm now kind of all three, but I'm also currently looking at moving chambers as well, barrister chambers, to start a practice hopefully soon. So that really is very specific actually for exactly what's happening right now with my career. Yeah.
Well, that then brings us beautifully to the Magician reversed. Because the Magician reversed is a very, very interesting card. Because in its upright position, remember, this is in our present moment. It's about that we have everything inside us, that we're confident, that we're listening to our ego, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So if we put it upright for a second, right, we can see the white lily and the red rose. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. They represent the balance between divine feminine and the divine masculine. He channels the energy from Father Sky into the earth to create what he wants, right? So it's perfectly balanced. The red is getting over the fears. It's the lower chakra, okay? So the cloaks, we're cloaked in this. And we have the lemniscate, which is the infinity symbol, right? So if we think about the cosmology of the tarot, the magician, if we think about when we're born, is our ego. It's the first thing, it's our sense of self. So upside down for you, it's about you're still kind of like a bit unsure about whether you have everything you need to move forward. Okay. You do, because the power is inside yourself, because over here you've had the Knight of Pentacles. It's just, we get to a certain stage in life and we're a bit confused about where we are and where we're going and blah, blah, blah. And we've had all these lessons going, oh, Jesus, can I do this again? Blah, 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 blah. Yes, you can. Okay. Is this making sense? Is this resonating?
100%. I mean, I'm literally coming out of a big period of that self-critique, and a bit of self-doubt, and at my age kind of thing. But I'm starting to get that youthful energy back again.
Yes.
So I'm bringing a new strand into my practice. I'm changing chambers. I'm planning to move home. I've got all that new stuff coming again, like a teenager sort of energy. So that's really interesting. Yeah.
So ultimately, this is quite interesting because where we're going in the future is the Four of Pentacles. So let's have a look at him for a second. Now, I'm going to give you more detail. This is just a general for me to tap into your energy. So if we look at the Four of Pentacles there, right? Fours represent stability. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, they represent either stability or stagnation. But because you're moving into this, and this is about telling me, because you're here and here, we're looking at this combination with the Magician reversed. Okay. So what I want you to look at this is look at the color of his robe. What color is it?
Red.
Yeah,
Red.
sort of an orange. It's probably, it's more of an
Orangey red,
orange, but yeah. So, okay. So Pentacles, as we know, is the element of the earth. Yeah, put your glasses on, love. We're middle-aged. We don't need to hide it. The three of
Get
us.
the binoculars on.
Exactly. Three middle-aged bears. There we go. Now, so I'm going to show you this, right? So he's wearing an orange robe. Of course, orange is
Sorry?
it is the sacral chakra. Orange represents the sacral chakra, which is
Okay.
where your seat of creativity and power. And we've all the yellow, of course, which is our sense of identity. Okay, it's your sexual energy, it's your creative power, it's all that kind of stuff. Okay, now if you look at this, it's very, very subtle. Can you see the wall? Right, the wall representing stability, but he's in front of the wall. Okay, so that means all things have been have been knocked down. He's ready to begin. He's building on top of a solid foundation. Okay. So what we look at, right, and I'll tell you about the numbers here. So three is the number of creativity. Okay. We become creative when we've made the choice to use our gifts, right? So you've done that, and then you get success with the pentacle up at the top, which is over his crown chakra, which represents listening to your intuition, which we've got from the Queen of Wands, right? To build, because this is all your reading seems to be, even though we have the elements of fire, you've got 2 earth elements. Now, what I want to say to you here is very important. Can you see just here under his throat, he has his wrist like this, and there's a blue and green band. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So blue represents the throat chakra. And if you look, it's right in front of it. Can you see that? Because his wrist is in front of his throat, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the green, right, which represents the heart chakra, right? So your whole thing is you have to start trusting in your voice, your true voice, what you've been given, because then you'll heal your heart and you'll be able to move forward. That's the message to create what you want. It's about you listening to the guidance that you're being given to go forward, because sometimes you doubt your ability to talk to other people, and you're being asked not to do that. Okay, is this making sense with you?
It is, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think a lot of my paranoia has come because I'm coming into this as a second career, which I can't talk about the first one yet because you don't know. But heavily broadcasting and doing quite well, and then coming into law and starting again kind of thing. So it's kind of hard to be the new boy, because as a lawyer, we've got to be very confident and competent and out there.
Yeah.
But also you haven't got a clue what's going on. And half the time people are talking about things you've never heard of. And, it's all very scary. So that voice has definitely not always found its way out. But it's coming back.
It is, and that's what the 4 is telling me. Because again, if you look over his third eye, he has a disc. Can you see that? And it's orange, and it's knowing that you have all that.
Screen. Sorry. Off screen. Yeah.
Yes. Can you see that? Just over his third eye, he has an orange disc just slipping through the crown. Yeah. So the crown then tells you that you're meant to do this because it's an anointment. Okay, this is what you're supposed to be doing. But that little thing over his third eye, again, it's orange, and it matches this. You have everything inside, which is what the promise of the magician is. But you need to accept that you have all these gifts. But this is about you having the confidence to step into that raw sexual energy to create what you want and believe in yourself, because that's the biggest obstacle to your success, is the fact that you are blocking yourself because you feel less than. Hence, you need to heal the throat chakra, so you speak from your place of power. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. 1,000,000%. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to just randomly throw some cards out. Okay. Interesting. So this is quite interesting. Again, it's about you knocking down walls, because this is the Page of Swords. Now, remember, swords is the realm of thought. Okay. You're getting a lot of this orange and yellow colors, right? But again, you actually are quite intuitive yourself, hence the purple. Okay. But you're not listening to it. You keep confusing your own thoughts. If you look at this very carefully, right? So pages are always messengers. Okay. So you're being asked to listen to your intuition to guide you forward. You have what you want. The move is the right one for you, because you have been previously blocked. Can you see the 3 pillars standing and the 4th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've removed an obstacle recently from your life, and that's going to bring you success moving forward. Okay. But it has given you the self-doubt, which is why you need to harness this energy around your thoughts about believing in yourself again. Because I suspect, and I'm going to say this now, I don't know, but my feeling is that a male energy has been putting you down and making you doubt yourself, and really confusing you and making you feel like you're not up to the task. I'm seeing a senior person.
Right. So you're kind of, so it's a woman, but with very male energy.
Masculine energy. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I am feeling this, and they were making you really doubt that you had the capability of doing this job.
Yeah. And they look masculine and they behave masculine. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the energy that I'm getting. So
Mm.
sometimes in the I'm reading the energy, but yeah, this person has really been putting you down an awful lot and making you doubt yourself, which is part of why you're moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very
this is what's going to open the
central.
door. It's going to restore this for you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that again. Oh, look, the Hanged Man. That's a lovely card. So this is lovely because we're getting this is le pendu suspension. Okay. No, but the Hangman is wonderful because it actually allows us to take a breath and see things from a different way. So I
Okay.
actually think this move is going to. Now I'm going to tell you, you're not going to believe me. I do think this move is pivotal, but I don't think it's where
Mm.
you're ultimately going to end up.
Mm. Hmm.
I suspect that it gives you breathing room to rethink things and you're going to move forward because again I'm seeing the blue and the orange and it's about you finding your foot forward, and I do think that you're going to be very good at what you do, but I don't feel this is the law that you're ultimately going to practice.
Mm. Hmm. That's interesting.
I feel much more I see a much bigger arena and I kind of see you wearing a white wig. I don't know why, but I feel a sort of you're moving in that direction. I see you in courts and kind of really bigger cases. Go on, what you show me? No,
Would it be one of these?
one of them exactly. Oh my god.
I won't put it on because I'll wreck my hair. But yes, that's my job.
Yes. So I see you find I see you kind of more in criminal law. I see you going into bigger cases like that. I kind of see you
Okay.
with TV and stuff like that. So I don't know. There's something around publicity. There's big cases coming, but I don't
Well,
think I think it's more that kind of area of thing that you're going to move into. Okay, the tongue is coming out, so this is obviously a good sign. Go on.
I'm working on, and I can't give you details of it, I'm afraid.
Obviously,
But I'm
obviously.
working on quite a high profile media personalities kind of case at the moment. So interesting.
Isn't that interesting? You know what? I might actually be psychic.
You might
Don't
well
tell
be.
me.
You might
It
well
might ruin the show. Exactly. Right. Okay. All right. Ah, interesting. Okay. So we've had the moon reversed. Now, the moon is a very interesting card because it's about the subconscious and it can be off about things that are hidden. So what I'm going to say to you is that there's something that's going to come to light fairly soon. There's been a piece of, if we're relating to this, there's something about something that has been hidden from you, that the other side or whatever have been deceptive, and the truth is about to come to light. You're going to find something that was going to help you in the case. So there we go. That's it. And that's going to be the turning point for your career, this case.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Interesting. Bring it on.
And yes, because look, there's the Three of Pentacles. That's the recognition for your skills. Your apprenticeship is over. That's actually quite lovely because it means that you'll be recognized for what you need to do, and it's going to bring you the finances. So this has all been the right move because it restores your confidence and then starts to bring people towards you.
Yeah.
Does that
Well,
resonate?
I'm literally just finishing off my training year, so um, unless you know about the legal profession, you wouldn't know. So I'm what's called a pupil barrister. So it's when you're in your first year of practice. So I'm just coming on to the end of that now, and should hopefully be fully fledged. Stabilizers off by the autumn.
Which is
Um,
winter, which is that is an autumn card, the Pentacles. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
You know, anyway,
You should say
so
this more often, Graham.
right, so now I'm tapped into your energy. Let's see what's coming up. Okay. So what
Okay.
I'm going to do is I'm going to use the cards because I don't want to be influencing whatever you're doing because it wouldn't be right. So let's just talk about actually, ooh, there's something coming through. Okay. That's coming back again. Why is that coming back? The journey. Four Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. So first. Okay, I'm going to ask you because this is quite an interesting thing.
Hmm.
I want you to talk to me about, if it's okay with you, loss,
Hmm.
because there's a spirit trying to come through to you,
Okay.
and it's a young person, and it's about something to do with it's influenced the decision that you've made to go into this profession.
That's my nephew.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to talk about
So
this? We don't have to.
yeah, sure. No, it's been in the press. So my nephew was diagnosed with quite an aggressive brain cancer, and
Oh God.
died age 4 and a bit. He died. Um, and it was on the back of his passing that I changed career. So, and just to explain, I don't want to sound cheesy with these things. It's not, God doesn't
Hmm.
speak to you from the sky and say you must change your life. But watching somebody that age slowly slip away to the other side, it changes you, and it causes you to look at, your life and your career and your love and everything else. And I just thought, this is not enough what I've done so far. And law was always a burning ambition.
Hmm.
So it was on the back of that I changed my career into being a lawyer.
So that's it. So I know you people at home can't see, but every one of my hairs is standing on edge because, as you know, when I'm in spirit, this is what happens.
Yeah.
So he's telling me that he's around you all the
Hmm.
time and he's guiding you. And he said to me that if you are in the spirit world or if you want help, you just have to call out to him because they remember they're in the energies, they're connected to the source. So I'll see if he
Do you
has
know
a
what's
message
do
for
you know
you.
what's mad, Graham? Do you know what's mad? So
Yeah.
I was coming on here today, and a psychic who I had seen in Northern Ireland, maybe let's say about 8 years ago, messaged me to say I saw a post that you'd put up about your nephew, and I did a spiritual painting, and the message was that he's with you always, and to speak to him, kind of thing. So and that he was proud of me and all these different sorts of things.
He
So
is.
that's really all in the one day. Seeing you, hearing that, it's yeah.
So look, again, you can't see it because we're off camera, but he is guiding you and you just need to reach out to him and he'll help you move forward.
Mm.
Let's see if he has another message for you. Okay. I'm going to do something slightly different. I want you to pick a pile, left, middle, right.
Left, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've got the Hanged Man. Like, isn't that weird? Isn't that really weird? Those three cards have come up again.
You can only see the
Isn't that
two of them
man?
at the moment.
Oh, sorry.
You need
Can
to
you
go
see
the other
them?
way. Other way, other
That
way.
way. Sorry. Yes. There we
Oh,
go. So
wow.
we've had the three, the exact three again. That's very strange. And you saw me shuffling and shuffling.
Yeah, I did,
So
yeah.
the message is again, it's about that's what he's telling you. This is the right move. It's going to change everything for you. Okay.
Mhm.
This case, whatever big case that you're working on, is going to really start opening doors for you. Okay. But the information that comes through, that is just random.
Stop it!
Yeah.
Stop it!
Yeah.
Stop!
He's
Stop.
guiding you. Listen to him. Yeah. Isn't
Wow.
that weird? Now, that's strange. Okay. So, that's what you need to be doing. You need to be listening and asking for the guidance, and it will guide you. And it'll be very interesting when the court case is sorted. If you come back and you can tell us how it worked out,
I
that would
will.
be
I will.
great.
It'll definitely be in the press. So
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to pull randomly. Look at that. The 10 of Cups. There we go. So you're going to get your happy ending. That's an emotional happy ending. And that's quite interesting. So I don't want to delve too much in, but that's about relationships and stuff like that. But it will work out, is what I'm being told.
that's really interesting
So
too.
yes. So I have a suspicion, but I wouldn't embarrass you on camera.
Oh,
So
you're
what I'm
fine.
being
You're
told,
fine. If I don't want to answer, I'll tell you.
yeah. But basically the relationship that there's some stuff going on, but it will all ultimately be fine for you. I think everybody's under a bit of pressure at the moment, and you just
Yes,
need to find a way to reconnect.
we do.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you have any questions you'd like to ask me?
1 or 600. But yeah, no, the relationship thing that you tapped onto there. Um, so I have to think of a way out. So my partner is he doesn't do media or spotlight or anything like that. So I
Good
have
for
to kind of
him.
Yeah, he's very wise. So I have to be very careful about what I say and what I don't say, because I don't want to embarrass him. I'm not embarrassed at all. But we're coming on to a year now together, so we've come through the honeymoon phase.
Great
We're
time.
kind of coming out of the other end of the power struggle. And I think we're both kind of looking at, there's big changes happening in my life. There's going to be some happening in his life. And I think sometimes that he feels that he's not as important as he should be, just because I'm very busy, or I'm, if he's in a room with us, quite often a lot of people will want to talk to me, and
Yeah.
and I can never really properly communicate to him. I don't think I've actually got the message into him yet, just how high up he is and how above all of that he is. So
Yeah.
I think the question I want to ask isn't really so much about me, but is there a message for him? Is there something that can help him kind of come to terms with himself and with the world that he's coming into with me? Because it's a busy world, and it's loud, and it's in your face, and he's a very easygoing, the polar opposite of me, actually, in a lovely way. So yeah.
Well, it's interesting. As you were talking, I drew this card,
Right.
which is the Three of Swords. Now that looks quite grim, doesn't it? Okay, but this is it does look like heartbreak and sorrow. But what I want to explain to you is the tarot reveals to us choice. Okay, it can be used as a tool for divination, but it's also about giving us tools to equip ourselves to make the right choices to move forward. So I want you to look at this card very clearly with me. We see the heart, right? We see three swords piercing it. Okay, then we see the cloud behind, we see the blue background, and we see the yellow. Okay, now we see the center sword is dripping. Now, what I want you to think about this, right? You really look at the card. Okay, is the sword in front or is the sword behind?
It's both.
Exactly. So what does that tell us? It's how we use our creative forces to move forward. Because are we trapped, or are we trapped by our own thoughts? So are we in front or are we behind? Are we beating ourselves up? So remember, this is teaching us to have courage and to not listen to the negative thoughts, which can be dispelled by the light, by stepping into our own light, into our own sense of self. Again, the blue, the throat chakra, speaking our own truth, remembering who we are. So this is his message. He needs to hold on to his sense of identity, because as long as he does that, then you can move forward together. Because again, works, but you use your skills, the three. Remember, three is creativity. You can creatively address any situation. Ultimately, look at this. It's about the balance between the masculine and the feminine. Okay, so I know it's ironic talking to two gay guys, right? But basically, look at the heart. Look at the red, right, over the heart chakra. It's about finding the passion that keeps you both together, and remembering that you can conquer the world by making the right choices, but you need to keep the balance in the relationship. The feather is about how you use your own sense of self, your own divine gifts to work together and to keep yourself in that root chakra, right? To ground yourself so that your thoughts don't run away with you, because you're listening to spirit guiding you. It's about you making the right choices. Because interestingly, look at this. Normally, it's in the Rider Waite, in the Two of Wands, the guy is holding the two staves himself, right? But there's a third hand here coming. Okay, so this is about partnership. This is about really working together to create something special and to shield your relationship from other things. Don't let outside distractions get in the way of things. Does that make sense?
It really does. So he's very religious, which is a wonderful thing, and he's very moral, and I love that about him, actually. But it obviously gets in the way of things sometimes. And he is a very big overthinker, very introspective, and actually so am I. So we can talk ourselves into a good fight without there being a need for one sometimes, just for overthinking and things. And that interesting that you said that, because my approach recently, and I have purposely changed the approach, is to be a bit more just kind of chill, just chill. Que sera, what will be kind of thing. But when I look at him, I really do see somebody who's definitely feeling a bit, wants to be there but lost in the world. I'd really love him to be able to get a message or something that gives him that extra boost.
Well, we'll listen. We'll pause something and see what the cards have to say about him. So we'll ask him. We'll do what he needs to know, grow, and let go of. So I'm going to use you as my anchor point. Okay. Normally, we don't normally read your card, but this is different. So, you should probably have someone's permission, but I suppose this is a slightly different thing because we're not prescribing anything to him. We're just kind of just seeing how what's a good piece of weight for him to help you. So let's have a look. Okay. So again, left, middle, right.
Right.
That's very, very interesting.
Okay.
No, it's lovely. It's lovely. It's very lovely. So what he needs to know, what he needs to grow, and what he needs to let go of. Okay. So what he needs to know is that you're both on this journey together. Okay. It's funny. This card is about moving from choppy waters into calmer waters and finding the undiscovered country. So you need to lean on each other for support, is what this is telling you. Because the problem is he tries to go everything alone.
Yes.
And that's where he gets lost at sea. Yes.
So
if we look at the group of swords, we have 2 and we have 4, right? So it's his choice. He needs to fully commit to the relationship because that's what's going to get the stability to move forward. Because he's still kind of like, oh, bum, 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 and in the doubt. But basically, the 6, remember, if we persevere, we find peace. That's what the number 6 promises. Okay, so this is what he needs to know, that you can move together, but you need to lean on each other for support. And again, we have a male figure and a female figure. It's about blue. It's about everybody communicating their needs properly so that you can heal with the blue and the green. Okay, the support is there, hence the staff. Okay, and together you can navigate this difficult part to move into the clearer waters. What he needs to grow is very interesting. It's about letting him run with his own emotions. I get the impression that he's a very closed person. So this is the Knight of Cups. This is about romance. It's about someone. So he needs to grow. So he needs to lean into the romance of things because he's approaching the relationship as a business transaction, as opposed to an emotional one. So this is about listening to his emotions to guide him forward. And again, if you look, we're moving from the choppy waters into the calm waters. You see this, we have the green ground here. So this is the realm of the known. And then the blue, the water represents the subconscious healing and moving forward. And then we have the mountains and the blue mountains in the distance. That means the realm of the unknown. So we have to listen to our heart, follow our emotions, and allow ourselves to become caught up in the romance of things rather than trying to make it an intellectual transaction, because that's what the Knight of Cups tells us. It's an emotional thing. It's allowing us to feel the romance, allowing us to go with things. Okay. And sometimes it's not questioning the romance. It's just allowing it to happen. That's the biggest thing. It's almost the impression that I'm getting, again, because of the red, I'm getting he doubts it. It's like he's waiting for the shoe to drop.
Yeah. 100, literally 90% of our troubles, he's the smallest conflict, he thinks he's going to be abandoned. So we'll sabotage or, and, I'm constantly saying, you can have an argument. It's okay.
And that's the problem. So so he's the interesting, because the Knight of Cups is a charging ahead. It's a romantic person. So what he needs to go is to allow the mystery to happen. Because listening to the wings is allow his dreams to take flight. Okay, but he also doubts romance because I think he's been very badly burned in the past. And this is his big thing. He's just waiting for people to rob him, because sometimes if we need to grow from this, it's like, we've had these people who promised us the sun, the moon, the stars, and the next thing, it's pulled out from us. So he needs to allow his sense of romance and adventure to take over. What he needs to let go of is very interesting. As you said, he's very religious. So this is also part of his problem. He has huge amounts of guilt over being gay.
Yeah.
And The Hierophant represents spirituality, males particularly, and traditions and religion and authority. It can even represent the law. But the fact that it's coming out in reverse of what you need to let go of is highlighting the fact that he needs to stop letting other people, traditions, people's expectations, etc., weigh him down. Okay,
Yeah.
so he needs to be his own person and find his own relationship with himself and what he believes in, rather than go and say, I don't know, parents might disapprove, blah, 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 because that's what's blocking the balance. He's
Mhm.
been forced into certain types of roles that don't suit him, and he needs to reclaim himself.
Mhm.
This is why the orange is there. It's that sacral energy, that sexual energy. It's about he needs to have his own sense of who he is, and that's part of the
Mhm.
problem. This is all tied up in his headspace, because it's like disapproving parents or disapproving church is what I'm kind of getting. And this is what
Mhm.
he needs to let go of, because that's what's blocking his happiness.
Yeah.
So he needs to kind of really think about who he is and think about, okay, is what I'm doing making me happy? No. What will
Mhm.
make me happy? Can I
Mhm.
have my own relationship with this, this, and this, and still be true to myself? And yes, he can, but he has to
Mhm.
make that decision, because if you
Yeah.
look at the keys, he has the keys to the kingdom, and it's about finding
Yeah.
that balance between the masculine and the feminine. And people
Yeah.
do want to listen to him as well, because the Hierophant is all about being listened to. It's being an authoritative person in their own right. But
Mhm.
he doesn't listen to his own intuition, is part of the problem. He needs to listen to what he's been guided to do.
Do you know what? He's such a clever guy. He's super
Hmm.
intelligent. He's not from this country. He
Hmm.
taught himself English very quickly, and he's not Christian either. So very,
He's
very,
a Muslim, isn't he?
yeah,
I'm
very,
feeling he's a Muslim. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, very, 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 very traditional cultures and religion, and you know, we can talk about pretty much anything, and he always has a really good opinion. And I find myself quite often going, "Wow, I never thought of it that way." But when it comes to this, he's rigid, absolutely rigid about the rules and the afterlife and everything. And he puts himself through hell while still alive, worrying about hell when he's not. And it's so sad to watch it. So it'd be great if he could find a way to, because he should never. I would never want him to step away
No,
from his religion. It's an important
no,
part of
because
him.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, but to find a
Mm,
comfortable place in there that accepts him and loves him as he is
yeah,
that'd be nice. Mm.
yeah.
Hard,
But the thing
but
is, well, but the thing is,
mm,
so I would say to everybody is, remember, religion is made up. God loves us all regardless. After all, we are all created in his own image. And it's about
mm,
you finding what works for you. Your
mm,
relationship with the divine is your own business. You
mm,
know,
mm.
I know that's hard given certain cultural things, but
It
at the
is.
same
Mm,
time, we have to live in this world and worry about what we're going through now. You know,
yeah.
but it's about that. It's about, this is the war that the problem. So he needs to let go of that and find and remember that ultimately who he is lovable, and that's all that matters. Because
Adorable.
once he realizes
Absolutely
that, yeah,
adorable.
exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Do you have anything else you'd like to ask me?
The lottery numbers for Saturday night.
Listen, do you know, it's gas. I can do all these wonderful things, but they won't give me those.
I feel cheated. No, when I was shuffling the cards, the two things you dealt with were the things that I was thinking of. So that
Well,
answers questions. Yeah.
interesting. This come out today. It's the Two of Swords. Okay, this is about the choices that we need to make. It's about Scylla and Charybdis, rock in a hard place. I like to call this the shut up and listen card. Okay,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
listen, if we do that and we become still, we'll hear the voice of the divine speaking to us. We get the balance between mind, body, and spirit represented by the Triskelion on the belt, and then we can lift the blindfold off. But we need to listen to what spirit is trying to tell us, hence the moon in the background, because that will
Mm,
guide us to make the right choices to move forward.
mm.
Okay, so that's your overall theme. It's you need to find some times for stillness,
Yeah.
both of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Busy minds and busy
Okay.
lives. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it,
Mm.
and that will help you reconnect. So, anything else other than the lot of numbers? That would be
No,
unethical
I
for me
think
to give
that's
you.
it. No, that's
Fine.
it. Thank you. That, by the
Well,
way, that was amazing.
thank you.
Really
Thank you very
amazing.
much.
Bang on. Absolutely bang on. I'm
Thank you
super
very much.
impressed. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to
Wow.
switch my camera back on so everybody can see me.
Come back
Were
to
you,
us.
were you listening, Dickie?
I was trying not to kind of be too deep because I know it's broadcast, but I was kind of trying to respect some privacy. But
yeah,
I mean, it was interesting to see some of the things that I know that you've told me about. It was very interesting that Graham found them. You know, like from the wig to like.
How mad is that?
Because I think Graham knew you were a lawyer, but the wig version of a lawyer, the barrister, is very unique, very yeah. So yeah, to that and different stuff. So yeah, and obviously wonderful spirit to come through, probably the loveliest.
And the fact that he was 4 and he came, that kept coming, that was really interesting, isn't it? And
Yeah,
I didn't realize that he was the reason you changed your career. So there you go.
Yeah,
Isn't that
totally.
interesting?
And he came through this morning as well. So he's definitely here looking for attention from his Uncle Anthony, as he would call me. So yeah, I'll have a little chat with him later. But guys, that was gorgeous. I absolutely loved it. I really loved it.
Wonderful. Thank you for being part of the show, Anthony, and being so
being our first guest.
Yeah.
Lovely to be your first. What
been a long time since
I may not be your first love, but I'd love to be your last.
Well, hopefully not.
Right?
Yeah, right enough, actually. Yeah, good luck, guys. That's your last guess.
Let's just keep telling Anthony he's going to be on another show in next month, and we'll just never have him on. So we just keep.
Exactly. You know, but anyway. So that was an interesting experiment to see how that was done live, you know. So
Graham, what do you think? Sorry.
Oh well, I'm grand. I mean, I knew the minute he came on because everything was standing on edge that there was a spirit trying to speak to him, and then I knew like it was the cards were going. Oh, that's interesting. And they said, "Why am I trying to figure this out?" So it was very good, and I felt it was a good. I had pulled a card to see how everything would work out for us, and I did. As I said, the very first thing that came out was the star, so I knew it would be good. So. I'm pleased it went well because I was kind of terrified. God, what happens if I get a block? Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Start reading My Next Door Neighbor.
Even the great Doris Stokes used to get a block now and again. Don't worry, Graham.
Exactly.
Well, I definitely got blocked. Got blocked plenty. But yeah,
that's for another show. That's for After Dark.
I was wondering how it would go, Graham, because Richard and I, which I'm not sure you know about, we were on-screen husbands for many years. We did a lot of television and radio together. So coming into these formats, you never know, because we could end up teaming up and interviewing you, or we start interviewing each other, just because it's just a natural kind of rhythm. So I think it was quite good, probably, Richard, that you jumped out of the room there for a while, because it would have become the Ant and Dick show at that point, wouldn't it? Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad because, as I said, I genuinely know nothing about you. You know, this is the first time we've ever spoken. So
you don't know who I am. I'm joking.
Well, it's funny, Graham, because we've known each other a long time, but technically only through doing this we've got to know each other. In months, really.
We actually did TV3 down in Dublin, where you're from, Ireland AM, wasn't it? Yeah. We did a week on there. We did a full week on.
We were on every day for 5 days. I love her on the sofa. Yeah. It was hilarious. And it was the week.
What do you call the Houses of Parliament, Richard?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. Don't. All I know is that the Prime Minister's the Taoiseach or the Taoiseach. That's about as much as I do.
Tea and shock.
Oh,
actually, we haven't mentioned tea. So what are we all drinking?
I'm
drinking. Go ahead.
Oh no, go on.
I'm drinking Harrods tea. But this cup was given to me by a very dear friend at a time. So whenever I was first year law student, feeling like I was really stupid, and I had a competition coming up, and she told me this. She's passed now. She's an octogenarian. Nobody is better than you. So this has been with me forever. So she gave me this as a Christmas gift. Nobody is better than you. So it's my daily sort of reminder. So I purposely used that cup today as well for this. Yeah.
Well, I'm on English rose, so it's kind of black tea but with a hint of rose. And then
You are an English rose, darling.
Well, I am. I always thought that. Me and the Princess Margaret, darling, we're like that.
Yeah.
We got Mother here with her.
Never seen them in the same room together.
We have Margaret in the background watching over us.
With her packet of tea, with Margaret's Hope tea there. So I'm trying to.
Oh.
Yeah, so keeping it going.
Your mummy would definitely love all of this. You know she would.
She'd be definitely would.
Yeah.
She'll come through sometime, I'm sure she will.
Yeah, no, I've just been drinking the Al Barry's. I went back to Barry's, although I will have to go back to something else because I'm having a moment with Barry's lately. It's not tasting as nice as it used to. So
is Barry's Nam Barry's? Is Barry's Nam Barry's?
No, it's just Barry's tea. It's from Cork, and it comes in a red box. It's lovely. With the one I used to drink, and I used to bring it everywhere when I was a singer and stuff like that around the world with me. And just the last while, I don't know, it's just not tasting great.
I think I've worked it out. You're putting that Barry's tea in that awful posh mug. I think that's why it doesn't taste so good. You know, you got that expensive mug. You're drinking it out of.
You mean my Le Creuset cup that one of my coach members gave me? Yes. No, that it could be that. I don't know. It's just not tasting right. But I drank the Robbed Roberts there last week, and I quite like that. So I think I might be going back to. Oh, hang on. Interesting. There's some tea leaves in the bottom of the cup.
Are they for me? Is it the lottery numbers?
No, sadly not. But you are going to get a piece of information fairly soon that you need. That's quite interesting. You're actually getting a message fairly soon.
Well, that's interesting. We've never done tea leaves.
I can't say on this recording because it's going to be public, but actually what you're saying right now is really pertinent and really like I can't because it is a live case say anything, but what you're saying right now is like, whoa, right? I'll come back to you on that someday.
As I said to you, the truth is about to be revealed.
Lovely.
Do you know he might actually be psychic?
Who knew? Who knew, Graham?
Who knew?
You used to do this for a living, love.
I know. Well, anyway. It's like your woman in Ghost that used to pretend, and then all of a sudden she got all the ghosts coming into the room. It's my favorite bit.
That was, it was brilliant, wasn't it?
Molly, you're in danger, girl.
Yeah.
Did you
your hard work is about to be recognized? I do tell you this. So I promise your apprenticeship is coming to an end.
I hope so. It's been quite a grueling time, so I'm hoping so.
Did you all used to get a commercial at an advertisement in Ireland and Northern Ireland for Toffee Crisp, and it was a woman doing the seance, and the Toffee Crisp used to fall out of it.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it. Yeah,
and it's the actress that played Gran in the Royal Family. Brilliant. My favorite. Favorite.
How she? Is there anybody there? Is there anybody there? And they're all doing the seance. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it.
Well, so we do a cledon, and just before we end the show.
Let's end with a lovely cledon. Now, remind us all what a cledon is, Graham, for those that may not know.
Sounds on it.
So what it is sometimes when someone else is having a read on and you might overhear it, it might resonate with you. Okay, so we're doing this as a collective. Okay, so I'm just putting the cards out. You take whatever works for you. Okay, we're going to do no groan, let go as we always do. And if something resonates with you, you keep it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But the idea is we're going to have a look at the collective energy for the next couple of weeks between this and the next show. And the idea of the cledon came from ancient Greece, Delphi. That when people used to go and visit the oracle, they used to really carefully listen to everything she said and write it all down so that the prophecy could be for anybody. So that's the idea of what a cledon is. So if something resonates with you, you take it. If it doesn't, because sometimes you might hear something on the TV just randomly, go, oh my God, that's a message, or it can be anything like that. But it generally is, it's a message that you overhear that wasn't generally intended for you. Okay, but these are you take whatever you need. Okay, for the collective. Okay, so we're going to have a
Wrong.
look at what the collective needs to know, grow, and let go. And as you're here, Anthony, I'm going to use you as my linchpin. Okay,
I feel ever so
so
used.
exactly. So do what can be the first time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out 3 piles,
Yeah.
and I'm going to ask you to pick again, left, middle, or right.
Left.
I haven't put them out yet, love.
Oh, sorry. Can you guess what I'm going to say, Psychic?
Julia, we should probably go with the left.
Go with
Right,
the
okay.
left. Yeah.
We'll go with the left then, okay. Right. Now, interesting. Ooh,
So we can only see the 2 cards on the screen at the moment. Just so
okay,
you know, just you want to move that. That's it. Yeah.
okay.
Probably go a
So
little
what we
bit
need to
more right
know,
again. No, to your right.
to my
Or
right,
to your left.
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Da-da. Okay. So what we need to know, what we need to grow, and what we need to let go of. Okay, this is quite interesting. So there has been some delays in communication, but they're soon going to pass. That's what the 8 of Wands represents. So things have been delayed because, of course, we've just come out of Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, and all that. And the planets are in a sort of peculiar mercurial energy at the moment, and everybody just feels a little bit stuck. Okay. But everything is going to start rapidly moving forwards because that's what the energy of the Wands tells us. Okay. So we're coming out of that period of where everything was delayed, everything was stuck. We didn't know, there was a lot of uncertainty. What we need to grow is interesting. It's about relationships because we've done a lot of introspection over the last while. Okay. Now, if we look at the 2 of Cups, in the traditional tarot, we'd see a chimera, which represents 2 disparate things coming together to create something unique and new. Okay. So we had the winged lion with the serpent's tail. But if we look at this, right, we have this woman and this man, right? And they're also represented in the traditional 2 of Cups. They represent the high priestess and the fool. Okay, the divine feminine and the divine masculine coming together, bringing the disparate elements together to create something new and unique. So it's about 2 is always choice, emotional choices. So this is about a new renewal of relationships. This is about working with people to create something forward. So any delays that you've been experiencing in your personal or romantic relationship are about to change, but it's about you getting back to basics and remembering that you're both unique individuals and that together you can create something new to move forward. Hence all the green bushes. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. And then interestingly, we're finishing with the 2 of Wands reversed. So again, this is about creative choice. It's about moving forward. It's about balance. But this is reversed. Okay. So what you need to let go of, it's actually telling you that you really need to stop trying to be so pig-headed and independent and push your way towards things. You actually have to work with other people to achieve your goals and stop trying to do everything on your own, because you can't conquer the world on your own because no man or woman is an island. Okay, so this is what it is. All the delays and all the frustrations that you've been feeling will all soon shift. You'll begin to see things clearer. You'll be able to make clearer choices to move forward. You'll be listening to your heart, listening to your emotions, working on the relationships with your colleagues, your friends, your family to get over whatever stale things have been happening and to move forward. But the reminder is you need to stop being obstinate and putting obstacles in your own path because you're blocking your own progress because you're allowing your ego to dictate what it is that you're supposed to be doing rather than going with the flow and listening to your emotions. Does that make sense to everybody?
It does.
Okay, so there we go. So that is it's just to take a chill pill and just to allow things to unfold because this too shall pass is basically the message.
Thank you, Graham. Lovely as
No
ever.
worries.
Thank you, my love.
So,
Very good. Sorry, I'm off
so,
screen.
Well, it's our show, as they say. So yeah. So happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everybody. Yes.
And
And remember, Easter is the time of renewal.
yeah.
Remember that. It's the resurrection. So we go into the cave, we surrender the ego, and we come back out on the other side. So death and rebirth, which is basically the theme of all of this show.
Very true.
We rise again. We rise again.
We do.
Indeed.
We get knocked down, but get up again.
Gents, I just got to say to you, and I promise you I'm not blowing smoke. I saw your pilot, as you know, and fell in love with it immediately. I think what you're doing is absolutely gorgeous. I love you both together as a concept. I love you both individually. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you.
It has
Thank you for
genuinely
coming.
has been very helpful, actually, with some of the things that I've been questioning, and it's been a ton of fun. So I really appreciate you, and I wish you all the very best. All the very best. Keep her lit.
Well, thank you very much for being our first guest.
Indeed.
My
It's
pleasure.
been wonderful.
It's great to be on screen with you again, Anthony. As ever, you look better than me, you little bugger. You always did.
But good we're not in the same room, so we're not having to share the green room buffet.
Exactly. All the lights.
Well, hopefully, boys, one day we'll all do this on a TV show one day, please God. Wouldn't
Let's
that be
do
cool?
that. Let's do that. Let's do
Great.
that.
Well, let's wish everybody a great Easter. This
Yes.
episode will be on our website and on all of our lovely channels within well, you'll be picking up and you'll be hearing it. So there's no point telling you when it's coming because you'll be hearing it. But
Exactly.
a special Easter episode. And we'll see you all in a couple of weeks. Next week, or in 2 weeks, the next episode, we won't have a guest. It'll be back to our readers and listeners.
And then we'll have another guest.
Emails. And then in 4 or 5 weeks' time, we'll have another guest. We don't know who yet. We're going to pick that soon. But
the thing is, I will never know. So
well,
that's
a good thing. We'll try and it won't be people Graham knows. I think that, but yeah. But lots of love, everybody. Happy Easter. Anthony, thanks again for being with us. You're a joy. Keep in touch. Let us know how things go. If anything we've said in the episode helps.
I definitely will. Yeah, I'll keep that.
And we'll see you all soon. Take care, Graham. See you in a couple of weeks. Lots of love.
Bye, darling. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye, my loves.